I still like the bullets on the side here, and the mindset of it being a lifestyle, not just a 10-week thing or an 8-week thing that we're going through. Scheduling. I'm not a scheduler, but it does help. It does help. And, you know, I have to say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do it at this time. And when I get to the office, I put it on my little calendar, on the Google Calendar thing, and I schedule a meeting, pretty much. And I know when I can do it. I try to keep everything away from there. And do you find that when you do something like that, all of a sudden all these things start to try to come in and reschedule your meeting for you? I do too. I do too. And it's a battle. Watch less television. How much television do you watch in any given day? 0. Wow.
You're just evil.
Huh?
You're just evil. Watch less television and wake up earlier.
Well, you know.
But you're real busy though. You go and watch your son play baseball, and I mean, when my kids were your son's age, sure, I didn't have time to watch television. I had too much stuff going on with them.
Sure. And you know, my television is actually live action for the most part, but I'm sitting there in the bleachers watching a baseball game, which is the same thing as sitting at home on the couch watching a baseball game. And so, you know, but you know, a little bit different. But then, you know, so how much time do you sit, or are you in front of the computer monitor, or are you sitting down really being inactive? And so the idea there is not so much watching less television, but the idea is being more active overall. For example, yesterday, the Diamondbacks were playing on Fox Sports Arizona. You know, that's one of my favorite things to watch. And so I usually just go home, kick back, watch them there. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should go walk on the treadmill. So I watched about 5 innings on the treadmill. You know, so I was still doing that. I was still watching one of my favorite things to watch, but I was being active. Felt much better for it. You know, didn't feel guilty that day. I just sat down and did nothing. No, I got up, I did a little bit of activity, still was able to do something. Waking up earlier. You know, I think I get up early enough right now, and some people can't. Some people are really good morning people. Some people just aren't.
There's a difference between waking up and getting up.
Waking up and getting up. Okay. Physically, my body might be moving, but my brain is still in bed sleeping, and that's just not a good time to be doing things. I find that, you know, I wake up about 10 o'clock every day. You know, I might be here, but from 8 to 10, I'm still, but at about 10, I'm ready to do things. I'm very, very ready to be active at that point. So, not a good strategy for me. It might be for somebody else. My strategy is that I need to be more active later in the evening versus just coming home and sitting down and doing nothing from 6 to 9. I'll get out and do something between 6 and 9. And that seems to work for me. So what time of the day is best for you is what I like to say there. And then try to incorporate things along those lines. I love this one. Before I came here, we lived in Arkansas, and Walmart is just permeated into society there. That's where it grew up, and that's where it started. And every time I take my kids, they would go, park up front, park up front. I'm like, shut up. We're going to park in the back, and we're going to walk in there. And it really used to crack me up, because as we were walking in, I would see these people, they would circle the parking lot 3 or 4 times, you know, while we were walking in. And, you know, those are what I call parking lot vultures, because they're just circling, and they're looking for a spot. When they could have just parked up there, we're already in shop and done, they're still circling, you know, looking for a spot. And you start paying attention, who's circling? The people that should be walking. All right, and so, you know, how do you get out and how do you increase activity? Do little bits count? And yeah, they do. They do. You know, throughout the course of the year, little bits of activity do count, but we still need to have some planned activity above that which we normally do. Some of the new studies that have came out, about 1,000 calories a week, which is the equivalent of walking 2 miles a day for 5 days a week. seems to prevent most of the diseases that are lifestyle related, cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, all these other types of things that are lifestyle related. And so, if you're going to be active for the rest of your life to try to prevent disease and to be well, a couple miles a day. And how long does it take you to walk 2 miles? Well, briskly, 30 minutes. Not so briskly, 45 minutes. And so do you have 30 to 45 minutes 5 days a week where you can go out for a walk? I think most people do. Most people do if they can. I've got at least a couple hours a day where I can sit around and do nothing. Sometimes that's real enjoyable. Other days I'm thinking, maybe I should be doing something. And so try to find that time. Where do you have time? Let's throw some questions or some answers at me. Where do you have time?
Lunch.
Lunch. Okay, lunch is a good time. And then the barriers at lunch are that you got to get out of your work clothes, you got to get active, or when the heat starts cranking out here, if you don't get out of your work clothes, you got to learn to live in your sweat for a while until you dry out, which is kind of uncomfortable. But so there's some barriers there at lunch, and then if you don't eat lunch, then you're hungry for the rest of the day, time too. So some barriers at lunch, but lunch is a good time. How do we do that? What else? What's some other good times?
After work.
After work.
When you wake up early.
When you wake up early. But yeah, if you can wake up 30 minutes earlier and not be just dog tired, throughout the day, you could get 30 minutes of walking in before when you used to just roll out of bed and do what you do. Well, now roll out of bed, walk for 30 minutes, and then do what you do. Those types of things. This has been real helpful for me. Got family in other areas and stuff, and take the dog out for a 30, 40-minute walk. Can burn some minutes pretty good on the phone. And that 30 to 40-minute walk, as long as we're not getting all this wind that's going around, out here. So that's an interesting idea. Any other ideas that you have? Besides these? What works for you? Increasing your activity? What have you done since we started the program?
I told myself that I need to get out of the house and go enjoy the evening
There you go.
for beauty as much as for a walk. That works.
No, that's good. It's a great time of year to be outside. It's gorgeous out right now. It doesn't get a whole lot better, really.
I found that every couple hours I'll just get out and just even circle the building or walk the block. Mostly because you get stiff and sore sitting too long, and so that's a good break.
I used to laugh that state regs, allow people to have their breaks, and people would go out and smoke. I'm not a smoker, so what do? I don't get a break. Well, wait a minute. Can I go out and walk around, do these types of things? Yeah, I can do that. I can do that instead. And the lap around this building, our parking lot and the sidewalks, it's a pretty solid lap. You can get some mileage in here pretty easily. Anything else?
Well, I don't know. It's part of overcoming barriers that at times like these I don't have a problem. I go for a walk every day and it's wonderful. And the summer hits and I become like this. I just hibernate, just horrendous outside, and I keep my house daily, so it's a lot harder in the summer for me to overcome these barriers.
It really is, and I was thinking about inclement weather as I was thinking about doing this presentation. And before I moved here, the cold was the issue for most of the year. And then we had a couple of months where it was reasonable, and then the humidity, stickiness, heat became an issue. And so it was very difficult to get out. What do we have to battle here? Mainly the intense heat. And so are there other areas where you can go out and do some physical activity? Can you go over to the Y and get indoors and get out of it? I mean, yesterday was real nice. It was breezy, nasty, and cold outside. Went to the Y, walked on the treadmill, and I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool. Could sit there, look out the window, and watch the trees blow, and go, hey, I'm glad I'm not out there. So can you find alternative places to do that? There was a mall walking program where I came from. I don't know if there is here. I don't spend much time at the malls, but big, large, climate-controlled facilities. Get in there, start walking. These types of things.